Kapow, 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 pew. Got some knowledge headed your way right now because we're back with another ep, the Daily Vedantic. And this one is on one of my favorite phrases within the philosophy of Vedanta that I think about probably 3, 4, maybe 5 times a day. It is a knowledge bomb that you just can't unhear once you hear it. And it applies so often to the conventional approaches to spirituality or religion. And it's this phrase that it's not what you do, it's what you do it for. It's like you could write that on a rock and apply that to so many questions. I know in my weekly classes here in LA, I get the questions all the time of what does Vedanta say about lying? What does Vedanta say about violence if necessary to protect yourself? What does Vedanta say about violence if necessary to protect yourself? What does Vedanta say about? I mean, there's so many different things. And within Vedanta as a philosophy, and one of the things that separates it from religion is that there are no shoulds and shouldn'ts. There's no real concept of sin. The closest that this philosophy gets to sin is that which agitates. But it does articulate that it's not what you do that matters. It's what you do it for. You write beautiful essays for publication expounding the virtues of Vedanta itself, and you're doing it for your own reputation, name, fame, validation, pat on the back. That is not the application of Vedanta. That is for selfish gain, if that's what you're doing it for. I could be up here each day recording an episode thinking, man, this is going to be cool when people see this and it's going to be a pat on the back that I'm pursuing something noble of making content around a philosophy. That cuts to the heart of this phrase. It's not what you do, it's what you do it for. From the seemingly virtuous to the seemingly unrighteous, where the question, can you lie in Vedanta? And can you apply the philosophy of Vedanta and lie? If you're protecting Anne Frank and her family, then hell yeah, you can lie. Because it's not what you do, it's what you do it for. Are you doing it for yourself? Or are you doing it in service for others? It's endless, actually, the examples that you could give where someone takes something like, surely you can't steal in Vedanta with this practice of Vedanta. Well, it's not what you do, it's what you do it for. Maybe you're taking something that someone else perceives as their possession, that maybe even culture says, by the letter of the law is their possession. But you're liberating someone enslaved. It's not what you do, it's what you do it for. And it's so beautiful. It applies to every aspect of life. It's one of the infinitely beautiful things about this philosophy that it's essentially everything we do in our daily lives. There's a Vedantic way of doing it. Of course, it's helpful when we have those moral conundrums and think, well, am I allowed to do this within a Vedantic perspective? And it's so helpful in those situations for sure. But it's also helpful to just lather it up in everything we do in our daily life. How you brush your teeth. There's a Vedantic way to brush your teeth. I don't know if there's a Christian way, a Socratic way, a Jewish way to brush your teeth, but there is a Vedantic way to brush your teeth. And it's in a cultivation and development of not what you're doing, but what you're doing it for. Are you brushing your teeth, keeping them clean for your own selfish benefit or for the elimination of distraction of tooth pain so that you can focus on the self, focus on the higher? There is a Vedantic way to brush your teeth, to walk down the street, to surf, to write that email. There's a Vedantic way to execute the right action in front of you. Every scenario. But the question we should ask ourselves is not about what we're doing, But what are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? It's not what you do. It's what you do it for. That's what matters. This has been another daily reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.